It's about 6:30, so we're going to start. Can you hear me in the back? Okay, I'm stand over here so that I know. Can you hear me now? Okay, now I know where I have to stand. And I know where Rob has to stand too. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, for this candidates forum. And to start it off, we thought we would invite your city manager to come and talk about the importance of the renewal levy. So, Rob Schulman.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity from the league for allowing us. It is an important issue, and we just want to, just as any other item of importance in the city, that all the residents are engaged and armed with the information they need to go to the ballots and make decisions for the community. So as she had mentioned, issue 13, it is what's called a continuation of an income tax. A lot of times we hear the word renewal, and I don't want to do it as essentially a renewal, but renewals are associated to property tax, and this is not a property tax. This is a continuation of the existing income tax, and it's earned income tax, and it is dedicated to services within the community. And there's a few pieces of information on the back table. If you didn't get an opportunity to get it, please do so. One of which is a postcard that has the actual ballot language that you're going to be seeing on the ballot May 5th. So if you have any questions about that, take a look at our website, give us a call to make sure you understand exactly what the ballot language reads. Also is a trifold information and a little bit more details and history as to what the issue is about. And I'll touch on that briefly. Essentially, this is a 0.25% or 0.25% renewal or continuation of our income tax. That's valued at $1.75 million. That $1.75 million is dedicated 40.5% towards police, 40.5% towards fire, and the remaining 19% is remaining general city services, mainly Parks and Recreation Senior Center. Much like issue 19 in November, that we thank graciously the community for embracing and passing for us, this is the same scenario to maintain the services that we have today in the community. It's vitally important for our public safety because of the $8 million from the general fund that provides to public safety. It's critically important. If issue 13 does not pass, then obviously we're facing a reduction plan. And a reduction in services, primarily in safety, as I said. 80% of this 0.25% is for police and fire. So a reduction of 80% of $1.75 million, that's well over $700,000 per department. And that basically means that there will be a reduction in personnel and some services offered by police and fire. And we certainly hope that we do not have to engage that reduction plan, but details about that are on our website as well. So again, just to recap, issue 13 is not a new tax. What it is a continuation of our existing income tax. And it's earned income tax. Very, very important that you understand that if it's not earned income, it's not taxed. In other words, retirements, pensions, dividends, interest income, etc. That's not earned income. If you're working, you're earning a paycheck, that's earned income. And that is what would be applicable to 5% earned income tax. So that, in a very brief nutshell, is a review. We have a lot of information on the website. I encourage you to go to that. Also, on April 23rd and also April 30th, we have some community forums for this quarter. Of course, this will be a topic. We will continue those forums on a quarterly basis, but for this first quarter, this is an important topic, and we certainly want to cover it. So additional information will be covered in that. And as well, I want to be respectful for the time and the purpose of this event tonight. So I will wrap up my comments, and again, encourage you if you have any questions, please. Our goal is to educate and inform you, to provide you the information you need to make a good decision for the community.
Thank you, Ron. I'm Pat Colby. I'm a volunteer with the League of Women Voters, and with me tonight is Becky Kirkland and also Michael Lewis up in the back. And you notice he's a man, so we're called the League of Women Voters, but you can also join if you're a man, and we encourage you to check us out. We're nonpartisan. Our goal is just, Rob's goal, to inform the public, get information about issues and candidates out so that you can have the information you can use to vote. So let me be this evening. We're going to, and I think if anyone wanted to ask a question, you got a card, right? Maybe a pen so that you could write it down, or more than one question. We're going to allow each candidate to give a 2-minute opening statement about why they're running and what they're hoping to do. And then after that, questions. Pass to Becky, and we will then ask the questions. You can direct them to the entire panel up here, all the candidates, or to one individual. That's up to you. It's your question. So with that in mind, let's start the candidate forum, and I'm going to introduce everybody from your right to my left. And the first person up here in alphabetical order is Glenn Otto, Jacqueline Lee Shook, is next to Glenn, Matthew Truman, and Jan Varga. Okay, we'll start this in alphabetical order. So, Glenn, you get 2 minutes, and Becky's going to be.
All right, as she said, my name is Glenn Otto, and I am a candidate for the at-large position this year for Beaver Heights. I want to first start off by thanking you all for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it, and I want to thank the other candidates for being involved as well. I'm glad to see such a big turnout for this process of primary. Real quick about me, my wife and dad here, and I moved here in 1994. We operate a local business here in Beaver Heights on Fishburg Road, and we have 3 sons. Our oldest is 27, currently serves as a Marine. Our middle son is 18, is a senior in Lane High School, about to go off to college. And our youngest is 16, is a junior at Lane High School. We've been involved in volunteer efforts since Beaver Heights, through local youth sports, through other nonprofit organizations such as Every Warrior Plays, through the Chamber of Commerce, and other things. The reason I am running is because I want to push forward those volunteer efforts, and I believe this to be the next step in that process. I've already stepped up and served the city as a member of the commission in 2010, and I currently sit as a member of the board of zoning appeals. Moving forward, I have a lot more to talk about, but moving forward, I think I'm going to focus on this. I'm looking to see a little more fiscal responsibility within our city. I think we're pushing too hard on large projects, and we need to step back and represent our community a little bit more. We need to work on improving such things as our parks and our infrastructure. Our water system's aged and need repair, as well as our roads. And we need to start reaching out and being more cooperative with other entities within our city. We stand as a separate entity from our schools, but I believe if one doesn't succeed, neither will the other. We've got to start working hand in hand with the schools, with local businesses, and with individuals as well. I just got the stop part, but yeah, I'll let it play. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacqueline Lee Shook.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Lee Shook, as you've heard already. I'm a citizen. Actually, I go way back. We moved to the area when my father built a house here in Beaver Heights, and I went to Wayne High School, went on to college, left town, came back to the area, to work for Red and I raised my daughter here, and my daughter's raising my granddaughter here. My father was gone, but my mother, she's looking nice here. And my background is working at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I was a contracting officer over there, which basically means negotiation of contracts, interaction with the contracting community at large. A lot of legal aspects involved, so that's kind of a background of preparation. My objective in working with the council and working with the city is that I clearly have a passion for this area. I love Beaver Heights. I think it's a great place to work. I think it's a great place to live. I enjoy what's been coming as far as the parks, the development of parks, that sort of thing. And I'm seeing that we have some services and needs that I feel would be beneficial to go ahead and emphasize. There's a lot of like every week we all see reports of how many thefts there were in the area. That's generally kind of being followed for the use of drugs and that sort of thing, illegal substances. And I'd like to see some more emphasis placed on that in the community, not that we're not, interested in that, but I think it's a really important thing. It's one of the things that I would focus upon as a council person. And also, I would like to see to bring my compassion for whatever it is that people want in the community. I'm open more to what people want to have done. Surveys and websites that are created, that people can tell me what's important to you. I believe schools are important. I believe concern for our community members. Thank you. It's time to stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And next is Matthew Turner. Truman.
My name is Matthew Truman. I am running for city council because we need someone who speaks for us. I was born here in Newport Heights. I went to Monticello, Studebaker, Weissenborn right here. This is a city that I love and I keep coming back to. The things that I want to see is the reckless spending that's going on right here in Newport Heights. For instance, we have a new music center. Looks nice. I have tickets to Dwight Yoakam, June 5th, and I want to see it succeed. But does anyone else believe that we could have used that money for something else? I do, personally. I get frustrated. I try to call and contact councilors. Sometimes I get a robo response, other times I just get ignored. And I've heard that from other people throughout Newport Heights. So I get frustrated. So I decided to run, and I want to work and be a person who works for you guys. I'm not about the political stuff. It doesn't faze me. I don't want business in Heber. I'm not looking to do anything other than be your council person. So it's about it. I'll wrap it up.
Thank you, Matt. Next, Jan Varga.
I'm Jan Vargo, as our current council, and I don't think there's anyone that has more passion about this city than I do. I have been involved in everything that has happened in this city since we became a city. We were a two-lane, 202, two-lane, north to south, when I came on council, and now look what we have. We were a bedroom community. We didn't have a tax base. We now have a lot of businesses, economic growth. We have parks that are well-maintained and continue to grow. We have a YMCA for our youth. We have a senior center for our seniors. We have a fire. Just so many things that it has been such a pleasure for me to be involved in. I can't tell you how important it is to know the issues that we have right now. We're looking to build what you want. As your council person, I think that I have been very responsive and very respectful and certainly listened to you. And I have always had the opinion that it really doesn't matter who gets the credit, so long as the job gets done. And folks, I really think that we've gotten the job done. We have a fantastic staff that we have a question. We know which staff person to go to and they get the answers for us. We have a staff that we can go to and say, okay, maybe we heard from the citizens that they would like to look at whatever the issue might be. And we will charge the staff to go look at that. They come back with us with our, take a look at those. Hope you will continue to keep me on council.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, your questions, can you let Becky pick them up if you've got them? Okay. And while you're writing your questions down, to kick this off, I thought I would just start with a general question for the entire panel, and Jan will just stay with you and come this way. We know that Huber Heights has been in the news a lot lately. And what are you most proud of happening in Huber Heights.
Did you say you're starting with me?
Yeah,
I'm
starting
sorry.
with you, we'll go down.
What am I most proud of? There are so many things. One, right now, I'm very, very excited about our new music center. There, we have already sold over $1 million in ticket sales. That is amazing, people. We haven't even opened yet, and we know it is a success. This was what we had hoped would happen because people from all over are coming to our city and that's what makes businesses want to come here. We already have TJ Jones as a result of the music center, and we certainly expect that we will have more. So I guess what am I most proud of right now? That's our most recent project, but I'm most proud of the city that we have become and that we are becoming. Thank you.
Matt?
What I'm most proud of is the people that live here. We have a lot of good people, a lot of diversity right here in Huber Heights. A lot of great minds that can help this city move forward. Those minds need to be utilized. That's what I want to do. And that's what I'm most proud of, living in probably the most diverse city in Dayton, one of the Dayton suburbs. So.
Thank you.
I'm most proud of the community and to say truths, but the pride in the individuals. I walk my dogs and I'm pretty wide in Huber Heights, and I pay attention to landscape and properties and things. And people, by and large, in this community keep their homes beautiful. It's a very pretty community. We gained quite a fame for being the largest alder community quite a few years ago. I'm not sure if it's been surpassed or not, but nonetheless, it has been maintained as a very, very nice place to live with a lot of personal pride, people who can afford the community. And it's a really neat place to be in. I feel good to live here.
Well, I'm going to sound like I'm echoing once again, but
That's okay.
community is a big thing around here. And in my experience, there's a lot of volunteerism in Huber Heights, and I'm very proud of the people that step to the plate to offer their time and their money. I found we're working with a lot of different organizations like Relay for Life, Every Warrior Plays, working with the high school, all the state runs that have happened this year, that the community will come out when they're needed, when they're called, and support. I think that really is the heart of our community, the people that live here, and how willing they are to step forward when they're needed.
Thank you. All right, this next question, I'm going to go through those that are directed to all the candidates, some for individuals. This is to all. We'll start with you, Matt. My greatest concern is how bad some of the properties are being taken care of. Not the vacant ones, but those that people are living in. How would you fix this?
How would I fix it? Well, in my opinion, yes, we want people to take care of their property, so there's some things that can be done, but that's their problem. We're gonna tell people that, if there's a car on blocks, obviously we need to do something about it. If they forget to mow the grass once in a while, that's different. So I think it would depend on how bad the property is on county. So, but we can't, in my opinion, we can't force people to adjust certain things on the property. It's just the government doesn't belong.
Jacqueline?
I say basically, like I said, I think most of the properties are pretty well kept, and I do know what they're talking about. I had been at the place for a long time, and their property was not well kept, but all around it was lovely. I see the most effective method is to really have standards and statutes in place, such as, I believe it's a continuing area outside where a standard is set, and then everyone either is already at that standard or they must improve the property to that standard. So I think that effective, nonpartisan, just, everybody needs to not have their cars on blocks, as Matt said, that sort of thing. Just establishing minimum standards.
As well as our business, yes, our private property properties are continuing to fall into decay a little bit when you look around, especially in South End of Huber Heights. And the fact that the current enforcement is driven through complaints primarily. A lot of our departments have kind of shrunk in size, and they don't have the manpower or the staff to handle going out and actively letting people know what's required of them and what's asked from them. We do have ordinances in our books that require certain things of us and our property, and it's not being enforced. We need to work with our community to let them know what we expect of them, what we expect of our community, and how they can get there. There's opportunity, I think, if the city were to take a look around and look into some different programs. I've spoken with some realtors and other individuals who have told me that there are programs that we can get involved with to help owners to reinvest in their properties. These are the types of things that the council needs to come forward actively, investigate these options and put them on the table for our public to be able to use them.
Glenn would talk about programs that are available because, in fact, we are involved in a very important program. Just recently started as a revitalization of the city, and because of that program, what happens is the city has to step in and foreclose these properties that are bank owned. They've been sitting there for months and months. After the foreclosure, then that can be put on the market or sold, go to sheriff's sale. But what has happened with 3 of these properties is the property owners have actually come forward, paid their taxes, and now they're back on the books. So the schools are paying their property taxes. As far as we do have property maintenance issues in Huber Heights, but you as resident citizens, when you see something, you need to call City Hall. You need to inform the zoning department that such and such a house has a block car, and they can take care of it. So we have to work together on this. We're working very hard. We do have a shortage of people. We would like to have someone on the street all the time. We don't have that, but help us out. That's what we have. That's what we ask.
Thank you. Jack, I'm going to start with you on this one, with this question. With state funding greatly reduced, what would your approach to generating funds to ensure city services are not reduced? What would be your approach, Jack?
I think that the city income tax window is probably going to be the mainstay of that. Funding must come from the community. And it's not going to be the state and local funding has to be generated. And that's a fair and balanced approach, and the percentage rises with the incomes. That's the best we can do right now. And bake sales.
Jack was absolutely right. Currently, the tax renewal, it will carry the day, but it's simply a temporary. We can't continue to just ask people for more money again and again and again. Our city needs to get its spending under control. It needs to learn how to invest in proper projects people desire, people ask for. It needs to get involved with its residents and find out exactly what we're looking for, what we want from our city, what we want from our community. As it stands, I don't see enough interaction between council and our community. Again, in order to keep up with these costs, we're going to have to find cost-saving measures out there. We can't continue to just spend our way and pour our hat in our hand over and over again. We sit at one of the higher tax rates in the region, and I think we can do better than that. I really do. But it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of ingenuity, and it's going to have to take some thinking out of the box and creative ideas to get some things done.
Dan?
It's not a temporary fix. This issue 13 that's on is not a temporary fix. That's why we call it the 2025 plan. This will keep the services that we currently enjoy, but we pass this levy, this continuation. It's no new taxes. It's what you're already paying. It's just a continuation of what we have now. If this passes, we will not come to you for more taxes. We will keep the services that we currently have or what we're currently paying. So that's how we would handle it. We know that we've had a lot of cuts from the state and federal, so you're absolutely right about that. But as these cuts have happened, we've also made cuts. We've tightened our belts in the city. And we have taken care of making sure that our city is not going to have big financial problems. We have hired great financial people that have kept us on top of all of these issues before they come to us. Thank you.
Matthew?
Allow me to be a little blunt. That's an excuse for me personally. In 2008, I keep hearing about the crash. That's what did it to us. It's 2015, and we continue to call for new levies. Is it a new levy? It's a new levy. They say it's a continuation, but if you vote no, I'm not saying I'm going to vote no, but if you do vote no, do you have to pay the amount in taxes? No, you don't. It goes down 1.25%. It is a continuation, it is a renewal. The sloganeering can be done however it needs to be done. I love this city, and I probably will vote for levy because I've been forced to vote for this. But it's an excuse. We continue to see these levies time and time again. And to say that we won't see another levy, I don't believe it. If you guys believe that, I just.
Next question, we'll start with Glenn. How have you supported Huber schools?
Well, during football season, you'll see me in the cafeteria every Friday serving food to all our football players. It is an integral portion of the Every Warrior Plays, and by default, I am a very big part of that organization as well. We devote a lot of time and effort to create ways to come up with ideas to offset the amount of money that it costs these kids to play sports, because we believe that it's very important in a child's growth to experience all kinds of things. Education is one thing, but they need the experience, social interactivity, sports, all these things help them to grow. So we've been highly active within our schools. I know most of the people that work in the schools will recognize that we're there.
Yes.
Okay, I have supported the schools always because our children need to have good education, and you get your education first from your home and second from the schools. We have to have good schools in order to have a good community. Personally, I have 5 children. 3 of them graduated here at Wayne. I come from a military background, so we haven't lived here forever, but I have lived here for 40 years, so that's a long time. And in that time, I was always, when my kids were in school, obviously, I was involved in PTA, any activity, the band, the football, the basketball, the baseball, but they're all gone, and I still support all of those activities because they're important. I also support the arts that they have. I have a very good working relationship with the superintendent, Sue Cannell, and also Principal Cosby at the high school. I have visited numerous schools and given presentations and presented them with city trinkets that they enjoy, whether it be a pencil or something from the city, and let them know what it is to be a council person and how important it is that when they grow up, that they register and they vote.
Matthew?
How much of this business cost?
As our work council, he orders them for us.
How do I support the schools? Schools, we go to St. Peter's, but what I do is I try and support the Every Warrior Plays program. I hit the first annual 5K, and seen along with Tracy Dudley who passed me, I think she laughed at me. That was all, sorry, bad joke. That's what I do, but the best way I can is to support the schools, is trying to hit up the fundraisers for the student athletes. How I support the schools as a council person. You would have to have a liaison from the city to the schools, and maybe work with them, since the city gets the levies passed, we need to get the levies passed for the school too. They have a secret levy. The schools of Beaver Heights are like, we need all levy.
Thank you.
I also support the schools, as everyone here supports the schools, do my taxes. Property over here, my daughter's property over here, their taxes keep our schools running. With the Beaver passion in the schools, I am a strong advocate for, hey, Wayne schools are good. I myself represent the school, whenever I represent myself, I graduated here. It's an system. And it's noted, you know, sports is noted also statewide. Championships, people here care, there's a lot of passion. I don't usually schools pages for the Beaver Heights Courier because I enjoy seeing what our schools are doing, what our students are doing. And that kind of support is important. It's intrinsic in our behavior as I speak to people and they know where I'm from. I tell them where I'm from. And we talk about, of course, much about sports. I'm not very good at talking about sports, but I keep up with what we're doing in sports. That's support.
I started with.
Sorry, yeah.
So we're all finished with that question, right? So then the next one, I'm going to start with Jan, right? Correct? I'm going to give us a couple just quick yes, no questions, if that's okay with everybody. Just answer yes or no. We've got some of these here. Do you get paid?
No.
Matthew?
No.
Jacqueline?
No.
Okay. Got that answer. Everybody agrees on that one. Now, if a responsible Ohio gets their legislation through passed, are you going to support marijuana growing in Beaver Heights? Yes or no?
Yes.
My jury is still out on that. There's a lot of study that has not been done. It's the 4 states that have passed the laws. They're there to account for a lot of issues and situations that we haven't even thought of yet. I like to all stand down on that and say, let's look and see what happens with that first. I mean, it is a psychotropic drug. I'm sorry. Not right now,
Glenn? No.
Yes, properly regulated.
Yes, okay. Jan?
I'll listen to the voters, not Mr. Ballard.
All right. All right. Now, this is one for everyone. What credentials or experience would you bring to the job as far as fiscal responsibility and financial management are concerned? We will start with, who's next? Matthew.
Well, first of all, my bills are paid. What the best way that I think that we could be fiscally responsible is stop the spending. So I would, as a council person, have to vote on spending measures that the city puts up. If it's something that we can afford and that we desperately need, I would vote yes. If it's something that's frivolous that we don't need, I'm going to vote no. I have to get town to what needs to be done, and what needs to be done is crazy spending. That's my opinion.
The back is, as a contracting officer, I work directly with the financing of our contracts and the development of budgets for those contracts. And it's basically called program management. That's cost, schedule, performance management. And the same type of thing needs to be applied to the issues in Beaver Heights. How much money do we have? What are the real needs of the people? Where can we spend the money the best?
My wife recognize, as I stated before, operate a business here in Huber Heights, and if we couldn't manage money, we wouldn't eat.
We're starting with Jacqueline this time. Well, actually, no, this is a question for Jan, and then what we'll do, and then there's a follow-up that's actually that would go to Matt. So I'm going to read this question. It's a little long. We'll start here, and then others can comment on it as well. Of the 1 million in ticket sales you mentioned from the music center, how much will actually go to the city, and how much profit will be available, keeping in mind that a significant amount will be due to pay the note loan that was obtained to build the music center?
Well, that's a multi question. Let me say this, it's very premature to answer since we haven't even opened yet. So even though we have the ticket sales, they may double. They may stop where they are now. We just don't know what it's going to be. So until we actually know, how can you answer the question as to how much profit there will be from that? Number two, if this question were asked of me 3 or 4 months from now, I would go to the finance director or to city staff to get the answer to that question. It's not something that I have off the top of my head. That's a lot of numbers, and because we do have a great staff, that's exactly what I will do. Was there a third part to that question?
No, but that's good. And I think that,
Okay.
this other one is for Matt, that follows off of that one. What would you have done with the money? that was
What would I have
used for the
done with the
music
money? The music center was built on tax increment finance. What I would have done with the money is this. Okay, first of all, when we go back to we have a lot of different dollar stores and stuff popping up, new dollar stores. Could TIF funds or TIF districts be brought out there in South Huber where we could build, revitalize the city? Okay, what I know would not have built the music center. That's what I know I would.
But what would you have done with it?
Well, what I have done with the money is probably not have created the district or voted for the TIF district.
Go ahead, Matt.
I would like to speak to the question asked to Jan because there is an answer to that question. The answer is this: if we stop right now at $1 million, $225,000 would go to me as the managing company for their management fee. After that, we would have to pay our bills, pay the artists, and then after what we have left, we would get to keep 60% of that, and maybe even get the other 40%. That's how that $1 million would be spent.
Jacqueline, do you have anything to add to either?
I don't have insight to the books and to the circumstances right now, and the financial statements, as James said. Approach it. And we did a little bit.
I think we're going to start with you this time, Jacqueline, is that fine? Okay. Do you have any proposals to bring new businesses to Huber Heights and renovate the shopping centers?
I think that tax advantages can be given to those situations. Not necessarily as drastic as the Blackwood Homes issue came about, to half the real estate taxes and just basically cut all the taxes you in half, so the rest of us get to pay the burden. But I think the tax advantages and tax breaks can bring the businesses in.
Yeah.
Any question? Repeat that.
Do you have any proposals to bring businesses to Huber Heights and renovate the many vacant buildings in the older shopping centers?
Yeah, first of all, we need to start working with those businesses who are trying to come into Huber Heights and do something good with their business. U-Haul tried to relocate into the building that used to be on Grant Pike, where the city should have stepped forward, reached their hand out to them and asked them, how can we work with you to revitalize this area because we know it's in bad shape, and to start on that development as a project to revitalize that entire area. The city chose instead to put a burden on them of what they could and couldn't do. There are certain areas of that building that have been closed off. They're currently in remodeling phase, and they're not getting a lot of cooperation from the city. If we could reach out to these businesses, show them that we are willing to work with them, start working with our Chamber of Commerce, and let people know that we want them to come to our city, we want them to be a part of our plan, whatever that may be, and we need to work with them to develop that plan, we're going to get more businesses willing to step up and walk into Hoover Heights because they're going to realize that's the place to be.
Dan?
Well, it's interesting that Mr. Otto mentioned working with the Chamber of Commerce. Just today, the Chamber Director, and I am quoting, credits the current council with economic development. And I think we do work with the Chamber a great deal. How do we help, what was the question again? How do we help businesses?
Yes, and abatement, shopping centers and how we help businesses.
We have programs in place at this time to help businesses. You have to understand that you cannot spend your tax dollars, city money, to help private business to improve their property. What we have done in the past, and we do quite often, is to go ask for that do allow these kind of things. And I can point to a number of places, AIDA for one. We were able to get an EDGE grant for them in order to expand. They, by the expansion, have brought in more employees and more business has come to the city through them. They are ready to expand again. This time, I don't think that we'll be able to get another EDGE grant because there's not the time has passed for that. But certainly, we will work with them as we do with every business that there is. We don't discourage any of them. And you have to understand, someone mentioned a lot of dollars to what to put into the businesses that they open. We can only let them know what the zoning is. If they're allowed to be there, we can't zone them out of that is allowed in that particular zoning district. So if dollar stores think they can make money here, we can't turn them away. We don't want to.
Matt?
First of all, disagree. The city does subsidize private business, the stuff up there in carriage trails. But I will move forward with the question. How do you bring business to us? You give businesses a government who is trustworthy. They will go to that city. Why are we creating business as a city and not seeing what the Tom has the sign show that there's 6 acres for sale over there by the music center. The music center would be prime choice. We have, I don't know, maybe there's something that works, but we have someone already buying that 6 acres of land. But they shouldn't be flooding here like we were told. Hardest guy in the world. Okay? We have to reach out to the people. We have to say, hey, help us, help you. You have to go to the staff and say, hey guys, what do you have planned? Brainstorm this stuff. Bringing in more business with honesty, integrity. Yes, that's
Jacqueline?
I think I started.
Oh, you started with that one?
Still agree.
Okay, you're right, you're
That's
right.
it.
Okay, so we're going to start with Glenn. This is for all candidates. Do you support, this is kind of a tough one, actually. You have to know your stuff here. Do you support issue 19, and do you support May 5, issue 13? Why yes and why no? I don't feel so bad. because
This is your 19th, the issue that we already passed. That's issue 19, right?
Yeah, no, probably.
Did you support it?
Issue 19? No, I did not. That was actually a tax increase. Now, you will hear it said that it was not a tax increase, but if you actually read the 2025 plan on page 3, right at the top of the page, it says that the tax, issue 19 in 2018 and November 2014 was a tax increase.
And then 13.
And issue 13?
Yeah.
Right, issue 13, I will be supporting. At this point, as we discussed earlier, that unfortunately we put ourselves in a bad position, and we're going to have to climb out of it. It's going to take some work, but right now we're going to need that.
Thank you. Dan?
Yes, on issue 19, I certainly did support it, and definitely on issue 13, I do support it. Oh. Was it fire going on?
Did you and do you? Did you
Yeah, I
support
did, and I
19?
do support 13. And it goes back to supporting the 2025 plan. This is long-term planning, folks, and that's what you want for your city. Long-term planning. We pass this issue, and we're good to 2025, and then you just sit and scroll.
Matthew?
Did I support issue 19? No. Did I vote for it? No. Do I support issue 13? No. Will I vote for it? Yes.
Okay, Jacqueline?
Issue 19, I think that was a tax increase, I did not support that, no. The income tax issue, I can see the need for it, so yes, indeed, I can support that.
Jan, I think where do you start? We have many rentals in Huber and in bad shape. Hurts values of homeowners. I guess that's a statement, but would you like to comment?
The statement is we have.
That we have many rentals in Huber that are in bad shape and that they hurts the values of homeowners.
Okay, I'm not sure it's the rental properties that hurt the value. I think probably it is the foreclosed properties, and we are working, as I had mentioned earlier, to take care of that. We do have one huge rental property owner in Huber Heights, and I understand that they are working diligently as renters move out, that they're improving their property in order to increase the property value and increase the rents for themselves. That property owner is Vinebrook. They came to us, I think it was a couple of years ago, when they wanted their tax. I believe the city objected to that, the schools objected to it, and the decrease as a result was much lower than what they had requested. However, property values were decreased. However, they realized that, if we're going to stay here long term, we really need to step up to the plate. And so what they did was they have for the last 2 years paid $25,000 toward our SRO to remain in schools, because the schools' budgets were cut. We were not going to have a police officer in the schools. So it's now I'm going to step and pay the $25,000 each year, which has certainly been very helpful to keep them here. Other than that, again, it's the zoning violations. If you see any violations, certainly we will cite any property owner, whether they live there or whether they are rental owner. You just need to know what it is, and we'll on the property maintenance exterior. I don't know if we can't go inside.
Matthew?
Questions?
Yes. We have many rentals in Huber and in bad shape.
What's the city supposed to do? What we could do is we could give some tax breaks to people. Not a lot of tax breaks, but we could give some tax breaks. Alleviate some of the cost on investing in these properties. There's really nothing other than providing a city. I mean, what you have is, our schools are not able to function at the capacity that they need to be functioning. What you need, with a young family, what I look for when I want to move somewhere, I look for a place with great school system. I look for a place that, I mean, that's the first thing I'm looking for, sorry.
I think as far as the rental properties, indeed, I mentioned earlier, I think we need to establish standards for our maintenance of our homes. And those standards need to be applied consistently it's a rental property, fine, apply the standard equal. I mentioned Vinewood homes also, and that is a significant issue in my area even. I've noticed that the 3 or 4 houses that are clearly rentals and clearly owned by Vinewood. I went by and they had a very badly deteriorated driveway. It was a blacktop driveway, and the person was out there with a little putty knife scraping on some of the tar that had been put in there. And I said, oh, you can make this better, you put a new driveway. Well, we're going to fix it up. Pour a little bit of tar on and left. It's like, okay, thanks for the tax break. I appreciate the opportunity to pay twice the taxes on my house, so you can pay half of them on yours. And maybe with properties in the area. So indeed, applying consistent standards through the city, and indeed having individual reporting mechanisms available, if it's public, say, hey, this guy's got trim problem with the side of his house, hey, this guy's got driveway issues really big times, cracking and everything. Enforcement is necessary to continue to stand up.
I will agree with that statement. For far too long, one of the largest owners of property in Huber Heights was Huber Home Rentals, and they were also a entity that was not held to the standards that many of us are. Why? I cannot say. However, there was not enough. Those properties have grown to be in major disrepair. We've even experienced clients who have had children with injuries due to the lack of maintenance with properties. It's pretty serious, as a matter of fact. But my hope is that Vinebrook steps up a little bit and decides to do the right thing and invest a little bit into their properties, because it's a great stock of homes, and certainly it wouldn't take a whole lot to bring them back around. But again, I think the crux is that for far too long we allowed one company, our largest property owner, to get away with far too much.
Thank you. Matthew, for you, starting with you, and this is for everyone, what are your creative ideas for funding? Funding government.
I think we got to live within our means. Just like everybody has to live within their means at home, we have to live within our means in the city. Trying to create this is not going to live within our means. That's spending out of control. What we need to do is spend what we bring forward. What we need to do is plan a budget on what is being brought in. If we don't have the tax base to pay for some of the things that get paid for, then we don't need to spend that money. We have to live within our means.
Jacqueline?
I think that the most effective thing is indeed to echo what Mr. Chairman says, money management. As we all know, anybody can spend more. I mean, it's easy. You keep people that win the lottery that are destitute, dirt poor. You can spend more than you make. I've always consistently lived under my means because I won't have enough money at the end of the month to do what I want to do. Basically, clarifying the distinction between needs and wants is so good. What does this community need? What do we think we want? Some people want a music center. Some people think we don't want it because it makes too much noise. There's a lot of issues on the table for all these things. Basically, there are needs and there are wants, and we need to develop.
So far well said. There really are very few mechanisms for funding in a city. Taxes are the primary one. We have tried investment in some cases, though I don't believe there's a lot of forethought in that. I believe that, for instance, the Aqua Center, I don't believe enough forethought was put into that. Though it's a beautiful recreational facility for the city, it really doesn't provide entertainment or recreation that a lot of other cities provide to their residents, such as Kettering or Vandalia. I think if we could look a little bit further, we could see again better options. So yes, saving money to begin with and proper investing is very important. Now, all ways to raise things through volunteer efforts. We can certainly get into our parks and get some local businesses to work on sponsorships, get some local volunteer efforts, some local, some of the youth, say the nonprofits, the sports entities and things of that nature involved as well, and we can get a lot done with things like parks and whatnot. But when it comes right down to brass tacks and talking about roads and infrastructure. Really, as they said, we don't have a lot of funding mechanisms there. Our goal here needs to be to reduce the cost and waste that we currently have.
I'm not very creative, I will tell you that, so, but I am very observant and knowledgeable about the funding in our city. And I'm sure that everyone remembers that we had the auditor of the state of Ohio himself came to our city to present us with the Golden Award with distinction. And that means that when they audited our books, that the highest elected official in the auditor's office, the auditor Weaver Heights from Columbus, to present this award. So I think that when anyone says that our finances are, that we're overspending, that is not correct at all. Everything that we have done is vetted a lot. We go to committee, first it comes from staff, then it goes to council. But I wish that I could answer your question about creative ideas for funding right now. The TIF is the most creative thing that's come up, and that has come from staff. And I think it was great because it allowed us to build a lot of things that we wouldn't have if it were not for that funding.
I think it's Jacqueline. If we only spend money on things the city desperately needs, how will the city grow? You have to spend money to make money? Questionable.
I think the growth is dependent on the private market, the private sector. The growth will come with the economy itself. Businesses see it as a good place to locate. They see it as a good consumer base, what have you, a good market. Growth comes from the private sector. Look at Russia, Soviet Union versus the United States. The private sector growth was better than the United States because it was allowed. So the city doesn't need to spend the money to make the growth happen. The people that make the growth happen, those that attract the individuals spend their money in that.
If we only spend money on things the city desperately needs, how will the city grow?
Jacqueline is pretty on point there. There are things that we can do. To the bottom line is, if we provide a good solid base for residents and members of the community to move into, that they believe they can succeed and invest their dollars into, we're going to grow. It's not really our job to create those business opportunities, more our job to create those business opportunities by providing them the tools that they need to get their job accomplished. That being said, since I have a little time, I want to speak to the Auditor's Award that Jen spoke of. I appreciate that. I think that Jim Bell and our team do a great job. However, I don't think the Auditor's Award speaks to the fashion in which we spend our money. It speaks to how we keep track of our money and how we report it, and they do a fabulous job doing it.
Dan, you're next.
What was the question?
Only spend money on things the city desperately needs, how will the city grow? You have to spend money to make money? Question mark.
The city will grow the way that we have grown since we became a city. We will be business friendly, we will be people friendly, and we will provide amenities for our people and our businesses. And that's why the opportunities for folks to spend their recreational time in our parks and in our swimming pools and our quality of life is important to businesses. If we're going to if a business is going to relocate somewhere, they want to be in a place where they will have good employees that will have opportunities to own a home or to live in a nice place and can recreate in their time after. I think that the city has provided that. Do you have to spend money to make money? I've always heard that I'm not sure that you have to. I think that's irrelevant. I'm passionate about what we have done and what we continue to do. And I am so happy with how it's turned out. And it's continuing to just look better and better every day.
I believe that the city, like I said earlier, the city will grow based on the residents and the businesses that come in here. That's how, that we want it to grow, it's going to grow. The businesses want to come in here, it's going to grow. It's not the city's job to allow it to grow. It's or to force it to grow, however you want to look at it. It's what we want. It's not what they want.
Thank you. Same word for you, Lynn.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait, so, did you respond to that? Did Jackie just start? You're up first. You're up first. Okay. And this could be a short answer because we want to give you a chance to have closing remarks. So why don't we try to limit this to maybe a yes or no? Your response on schools was Wayne-centric. Have you ever visited the portions of Huber Heights beyond Montgomery County?
I don't really understand.
This is to everybody.
Okay. Are you speaking out? I'm not sure if you mean you're speaking out to those.
The portions of Huber Heights beyond Montgomery County. This is about schools because they said your response, and this is to everyone, your response was Wayne-centric. Have you ever visited portions of Huber Heights beyond Montgomery County?
Well, I'll say that I don't know of any Huber Heights schools beyond Montgomery County. When we get north into Huber Heights, we get into Bethel local schools. I understand that. Yes, I am familiar with Bethel local schools. My middle child dated a girl there for about 2.5 years, so I got very, very acquainted with the bees and their programs. I will say that they are much more focused on providing their kids with more personalized treatments. I found their prom very interesting, where the kids walked out with cash. I thought that was kind of wild, but so there were some different things that went on. And, I think that there's a lot of good things going for it as a small community, and its schools are very well done and tight knit. I am familiar with those.
Okay. Jan?
Oh, absolutely. I have spent a lot of time at the Bethel School because I had three grandchildren that graduated from the Bethel School. However, I also have been in touch with the school board members and the staffs. So I'm very aware of what's going on there, and I'm very pleased to say that because of what we are doing at Carriage Trails, that is the Bethel schools to make room for the extra children that they have coming there. It doesn't matter if the school is in Bethel, in Dayton, or in Huber Heights. We need to support education because it's just so important for our future. Our kids are our future, and we help. The portion of Huber Heights that's in Miami County do not go to the Wayne schools, they go to the Bethel schools. And I support both of them. Continue to, and I also support Dayton schools.
Matt?
My son attends Bethel. I was at the school Friday last week paying for his baseball fees. So yes, the bees.
Jacqueline?
I'm not familiar with them, but I certainly drive through there a lot, see the schools, I talk to people whose children go to the schools. I understand that they are very quality school operations. I really don't have a whole lot of corporate knowledge about it. One thing that I think is good for our schools is allowing volunteerism. I'm really pro-volunteer. We can have time that they want to do things that matter. Get the volunteers into the schools, get people that are interested in the schools. Background check them first, and then put them in the schools and end up in some teachers and then the teachers feel as they're working.
Jan, this is one quick question for you. How many years on city council?
25.
25. Okay, and we're going to start this question with you. How much debt does the city of Huber Heights hold?
I don't know, I'd have to go to our finance director for that. Like I said, that's what's so nice about having the wonderful staff that we have, is when we're asked questions like that, we have someone to go to. And that's exactly what I would do, and if we were here, I would have him answer that now, but he's not. And if the person that wants to know that, I'll be happy to get that answer for you.
Okay. Probably our city manager would know the answer. Anybody have any idea?
Not including long-term debt, best guess based on my research is about $59 million.
Anybody that's think comfortable with that?
$59 million, 59 million with $1.
Say that, I'm sorry.
$59 million in $1. Like the price of everything.
Here's this is actually, I think, our last one, and maybe, I think we've kind of covered this. What role do you see government playing in the city? I think you've all hit on that, so we don't need to go through that again. So why don't we start with, because I want to remind you before we do this, how many people have voted already? Has anybody here voted yet for this election? You can. Early voting is available at the Board of Elections. So go and vote, because you never know what might happen to you on May 5th. You might wake up with a cold and not be able to get to the polls. So you can vote now at the Board of Elections. And I encourage you, anytime you know you can vote, you ought to just do it, so that, because you can happen that day. So think about that, downtown Board of Elections. So let's start with 2 minutes for each candidate to give a closing statement, and we'll start with Jan Barger.
Okay, I really believe that I'm the best candidate. I've done a good job. I have not had anyone tell me that I haven't done a good job. I listen to my constituents. I have an open door, open telephone, open email policy. I can spend my 2 minutes with something I think is really, really important. This is a new publication that will be coming out, or it's out now. And I want to tell you about the expansion that our current businesses have made in Huber Heights since the year 2008. AIDA has spent $24 million in expansion. Tremble, $14 million. PBS Plastics, $1 million. Huber Crossing, $1.2 million. O'Reilly's Auto Parts, $800,000. Children's Health Center, $3 million in investment. KE Rose, $400,000. Grismer Tire, $150,000. McDonald's, $800,000. Arby's, $750,000. Marion Lanes, $1 million. Brewster, $700,000. Smythe Parts, $500,000. Clark Power PTI Trucking, $750,000. H.H. Gregg and Big Lots, $1.2 million. Fifth Third Bank, $1.750 million. Aspen Dental, $1.5 million. Taco Bell, $900,000. That's, with that investment, it has brought in 1,451 full-time jobs, 163 part-time jobs, a total private investment in our city since 2008, $69,140,000, with the city helping with grant funding to the tune of $710,000. So yes, we are business friendly. We have done our job, and I hope that all of you will consider keeping me on council. Thank you.
Matthew Truman.
I would just like But anyway, thank you to the League of Women Voters for inviting all of us out here. I think that it's an awesome organization. I have done some research and read, so thank you for letting us come out here to do this. I think it shows a lot that there are 4 people running for council at large. I think it shows that we really care about the city and we want to see its success and move forward. I'm running for city council because I got frustrated at the spending of the city. And what I want to do is be the guy who researches and knows when asked what the debt is and knows how to make sure that it doesn't increase but decrease. I want to be your city councilman support. Vote for Matt Truman. He's a good Nancy.
I'm also very appreciative of this opportunity to speak to you, and I thank each and every one of you for coming out here. It shows interest and passion for your city. It's like what's going on in my city and what people are running. I want to know more than just their name. And that speaks highly of you. There are myriad other things you could be doing, but you're spending time here in Commission on this better place. And that is my objective also to run for the council. I really want to go ahead and my emphasis is teaming. I want to focus on getting our communities to work together, as it has to a large degree. I think it's wonderful. We've built so many businesses up. It's great. And people paying attention to the budget. That's great. I really love that. I like to see teaming churches with community groups, have people work together, okay? Let us be shown as a close-knit community. Bring us together because the community is strong and it develops a reputation based on how people treat each other. And if we get our communities and our groups working together, people in the schools wanting to be volunteers, our churches working with our youth and our people that need help as far as maybe drug use issues. Get those teams built up and people become stronger with that team and group.
Again, I would like to echo the comments of everyone else up here and thanking everyone for coming out. Thank the League of Women Voters for having us tonight. I really appreciate this. First, I want to say that we really, one of our biggest issues is debt right now. We really need to focus on reining that in and getting that taken care of. After that, I want to address something I probably should have brought up during a question earlier, but we've spoken about growth tonight. And though the city's footprint has grown quite a bit physically over the years, we've all seen it, most people don't realize that our population numbers have really only gone from about 35,000 back when we started as a city to currently roughly 38 or 40,000. That's not a huge amount of growth considering how much grass we've taken up throughout the city. The issue is we've seen this push out, but we've also created a lot of vacancies within our private and commercial communities, which we need to really take care of and stop pushing our way out. We need to preserve some of that. After that, those investment numbers in January's reading sound pretty good. I think we can do a whole lot better, though, I really do. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to take a whole lot of hard work. It's going to take a lot of interaction. We're going to have to get out and as representatives, work with the community, work with our business community, actually get involved with people. I believe that there's no reason why every member of this community should not know the name of their council person. Every one of us have 3 representatives. And I talk to a lot of people that don't even know one. Now, it's not the people's fault. It's not up to the people to go to their representatives. It's up to the representatives to get out and meet their people. And I think we need to do a whole lot more of that. It's not happened enough over the years. That is something I promised to do. I have the time, I have the energy, and I believe I have the ability to handle this position very well. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think you're really fortunate to have 4 excellent candidates for this one position. And it's really a noble calling to put yourself out there this way because it's public service is important. And thank you so much for doing what you're doing. And let's give them a hand.
Your vote is your voice. These four candidates, they're your voice in government. Encourage your neighbors to vote. Encourage your kids that are of age to vote. Vote yourselves. Exercise your vote. This is your democracy. This is your country. Please vote.
That's great.